Okay, so let's talk about the flip side of the aftermath of Crazy Rich Asians. I know. We got to get to this juicy part, which is that then you were asked to help with the sequel because it's a trilogy, right? We know that in the books, right? So the next book is China Rich Girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Is that what's called? Yeah, I've read all three.
Yes.
So you were asked to help write that movie.
Yes.
But then you found out that you were being paid 1/8 of what your co-writer Peter Chiarelli was going to be making. And no offense against Peter, but he's a white dude, and you're an Asian female writer on this movie. And what? Okay, Mom, hang on, Mom. I'm going to apologize because my mom, my 83-year-old Korean mother, she listens to my podcast. It's really cute. She loves it. But Mom, I'm going to apologize because I'm a respectful daughter. So just like block your ears just for a second. Okay, what the fuck? Seriously, what? 1/8?
That was that was my reaction to
Yeah,
it.
hello. Okay, so so you were being offered $110,000 and Peter was being offered like 800 to $1 million?
Well,
something like that?
Just to set it all up. First of all, Peter's a lovely, wonderful guy.
I'm sure he is.
Incredibly respectful, and really was a compatriot. In this part of the process. And my issue is not at all with him. It's really more on the industry and the system in place. And my attitude was, what the industry will say is that feature writers get their quotes up because they've been writing all those years, getting their quotes up, to where Peter's was and where a career feature writer would be.
Right.
And my attitude was, yes, but I am not some USC grad who just fell off the turnip truck. I've been the reason you got the movie you did, and the scenes worked
is because of your contribution.
And I know what I contributed to the movie. Is because of all the years I've spent honing my craft and really getting very good at what I do.
Yeah.
And again, it's weird for me to talk about this because again, culturally, a lot of things and particularly for women, whenever you come out and say I'm good at my job, there are like a lot of people, in the back of the minds going like, are you?
Yeah,
Are you though?
Exactly.
And I know exactly what I bring to the table. Mm-hmm. And so their attitude was, well, you haven't been working as a feature writer, therefore we're going to offer you like a newbie, a newbie quote. Again, the details are just, they're tedious.
I know. I read actually a very detailed Forbes article about sort of the numbers side of it, which I thought they did a really good analysis.
Yes, they
where
did.
it doesn't make, they're like, it doesn't make sense. If you should value what the person has done for the initial project.
100%.
And then use that towards whatever the next payment should be.
Right. I had a couple of issues with their argument. First of all, that I, as an Asian female, first of all, would never have been given those opportunities over the last 16 years to write for various movies.
Exactly.
Because, the way it works in Hollywood is, white men are considered, the gold standard, and they are approached to and are the first choice to write stories for all of us. Like, if there's a movie about like a bunch of, young females, and their friendship, it's not surprising to have a white guy
to write about it.
It's not surprising if you have like
that makes a lot of
male
sense.
writers, male directors, all of that, but you don't ever get the inverse. You're not going to get like, two young Asian female immigrants writing
about a bunch of Wall Street guys
definitive movie about the New England Patriots. It would never happen that way.
You're so right.
So the opportunities in television were just, there were just more opportunities in TV. The landscape at that point is just much more diverse.
Yeah.
And, there really weren't those opportunities in features, A. Mm-hmm. And B, that TV in this day and age, for anyone to think that storytelling in television is in any way second place to features is ridiculous. I think we've been living in the golden decade of television.
For sure.
And so I feel like every time Business Affairs gives you that argument, it really never works to your advantage. It's always to theirs. And also, at this point, having worked in the industry as long as I have, there are concessions made for other people. That, when somebody else comes up with, proves themselves by coming up with a successful project, then,
there's always, you can always make concessions.
You can always make concessions. Yeah. You can always negotiate. Yeah. And I just remember thinking, it was a hard decision. It's not something I came to easily.
And the decision being that you walked.
To walk.
You were
yes.
like, I can't do this.
Yes. Even, and again, Pete, who has been like a class act through this, offering to, split his salary with me. But again, what it would have ended up being is a lot of sort of like backdoor weird wheedling of, on paper, she's not worth that much, but in reality, she'll get the money that she wants anyway. And I really felt...
No, you wanted it to be legit.
I wanted it to be legitimate, that what my
You didn't want some white guy giving you a handout.
I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not looking for someone to do me a favor. I'm looking for the industry to take a good hard look at itself.
Exactly.
And, and fix itself.
Yeah.
Which again, I'm not under any illusion that it's going to happen, but I felt that a lot of feature...
Adele, you made some waves by doing this. I'm going to read this quote from Forbes. It was entitled, "Here's what we learned from watching Adele Lim walk away from the pay gap." And I love this. "Imagine being part of a groundbreaking project where your contribution helped create hundreds of millions of dollars. Imagine as well that this success smashed all previous records. How would you react if executives invited you back for the sequel and you found out your offer was 1/8 of what your teammates were being paid? Would you stick around?" No. Obviously.
No.
Yeah. So, a lot of people were saying this was such a courageous move on your part. You made a statement and you stood ground, you stood up for yourself. And I agree with all of that, but for you, what did it feel like?
Well, it's very nice and generous of you to think so. I think it's less courageous only in that I knew I could go back to television. Okay. I knew that I could find other job opportunities. And I think the issue was for a lot of feature writers, particularly if you're female, particularly if you're a woman of color, you don't have that option.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that option, it's not that you're choosing to not be courageous. It's that you're choosing to continue having a livelihood.
Yeah.
And I just felt fortunate that I was in a position where I could walk away.
Right.